Hi and welcome to Outwell and to our San Diego Freeway SA from our Smart Air touring collection. So this is a drive-away awning, so it's designed to fit onto vehicles that are between 1.8 metres and 2.2 metres in height. So the sort of average sort of camper van size, these are going to be ideal for. It is obviously going to give a good usable space either for storage or actually for dining or anything like that, just an additional storage outside the van. We have our link access zone at the back that separates the actual awning part from the vehicle, and that has two side entrances. And then we have the good sized awning, all of which we'll show you in detail from the inside. To start us off though, I'll talk you through the features on the outside. The material that we're using on this drive-away awning is our Outex 6000 material. So this is a high quality taffeta polyester material that has fully taped seams throughout, and it has a hydrostatic head of 6,000 millimeters. So that ensures that this awning is completely waterproof. In terms of other features of the material itself, it's actually fire retardant, and it has also been UV treated to ensure that it's going to last a good long time under UV degradation or sunlight. So yeah, you will be safe to know that it's going to last a long time and it is totally waterproof. It's also really stable as well, and that's because we're using our advanced air tube system in here, which is our Smart Air system. So this entire awning is actually inflatable. So we have two tubes that run across the side of the awning, and there's then a tube that interconnects them on the inside. So what that gives you is a really strong, stable structure. The awning itself is really quick and easy to inflate, and we do supply it with this double action two-way hand pump like this here. So the double action and two-way part just means that every time you pull the lever up and push the lever down, you are inflating these tubes, so it's really quick and easy to do. You also then have a pressure gauge on top of the pump as well, so you can keep an eye on the pressure when you're inflating it, and we would recommend inflating it up to 7 psi, which represents 0.5 bar. Now, with it being our advanced air tube system and Smart Air system, you'll find that there is only one single plug-in point for the pump, so this whole thing actually inflates in one. So that's why it's so quick and easy to pitch. So we'll just show you now the valves in detail. So here you can see the valves that I was mentioning here. So this is the one single air in valve. It's quite clearly marked. You can see that it says air in. So underneath here you have a one-way valve, and what that means is when I open this up, that no air can come out of here. So it is a one-way valve, and this is obviously where you would then attach the pump. In terms of deflating the drive-away awning, we have our air out valves just here. Now there is one of these on each of the tubes, which allows for quick and easy deflation. So it's just a case of switching this to the open position, and you'll quickly see that the air will deflate nice and easily from this awning. So next, what I want to highlight is that we have this rain-safe entrance on the side of this particular drive-away awning here. So that's going to give you great protection on those wet and drizzly days, because you can see here that by the use of a Duratec fiberglass pole, we are creating this shelter on the side here. So when the rain falls, it's not going to be able to get inside the awning. We're also then using our Luminous Guidelines throughout here as well. So these should be a little bit easier for you to spot when it gets dark. And each one of these also has its own retainer as well. So when it comes to taking the awning down, it's simply a case of wrapping the guy lines up in our hands, and then we can pop them into these loops just to make sure that they're nice and easily accessible the next time we come to set this up. We then also have large windows all the way around here, so that's going to allow enough light in there to make it feel nice and spacious. But I want to highlight to you that these windows are actually tinted, so they serve two key functions, one of which is to reflect some of the glare of the sun away from the inside of the awning, and the second is of course to give you much better privacy within there as well. So when we come round to the front here, you'll see that there's a good sized front door on here, so if you are using it as a sort of storage area or something like that, then you're certainly going to be able to get all of your kit in and out of here, no problem at all. It's a good wide door, and it's also a very high door as well, so it's full walk-in height. The entire awning from the back wall here to the front has a fully sealed ground sheet, so it actually is bathtub in style, so it comes up around the edges, so you're not going to have any drafts coming into this awning. You're going to keep out things like dirt, dust and sand, and hopefully more importantly keep out those unwanted bugs as well. One thing I want to highlight to you though is that the awning does have a fold flat front on the ground sheet just here, so you can see that it folds flat for easy access in and out. This is just held in place with pegging positions at the side here, but what we can do is when we close the door down, just take these pegs out and we can fold this up and you'll see there that there was a zipper that runs along the front of the ground sheet here, which just attaches onto the door. So when you close the door down, you do have a fully sealed and protected area. So stepping inside the awning itself, it's actually a really good space in here. I'm quite tall, at about 1.95 meters, and you can see I still have plenty of head height in here. And there's certainly enough space in here for a good amount of furniture. You can see we have a table and a chair in here at the moment, but there's still plenty of space for lots more. So as I said, that space is really accentuated by the fact that we have large windows all the way around us. But if you do want a little bit more privacy, that's not a problem, because each one of these windows has its own curtain, which we have just rolled away at the moment. So you can see here that we can roll them down just to create these really large windows. But if you want a bit more privacy, this can be brought halfway up. There are toggle points at the side on here, or of course they can be fully closed over as well. So within this driveway awning, you have fantastic ventilation, and that's thanks to the fact that we have this full mesh door on the side here. So this was a rain-safe entrance that we showed you on the outside. We have the waterproof door rolled up at the moment, but you can see here then you have this full zippable mesh door. So great ventilation, and again, hopefully keeping out those unwanted bugs from in here as well. The awning also has a lantern hanging point. It's just hiding up behind the door, just in here. Hopefully you can see that. So it's in a good central location within here. But then what you will find is, running away from that, we actually have cable tidies that run down to where we have a cable entry point, which is just down at the bottom here. So you can see we have this small zipper. We just need to open this, and we can then run electrics into the tent without actually having to open up your side door here. So something I mentioned earlier on in here is the fact that we're using our smart air system, so these inflatable tubes. Now I just wanted to show you that from the inside. So here you can see that we have the two main tubes running across the way, and then this tube that connects them both. So you then just see that we have these valves at both sides here. Now these are shut-off valves, so we can simply just turn these to an off position, which is here, and that has now separated these two tubes, so that in the unlikely event of something going wrong, the whole awning isn't going to be affected. I mentioned earlier on that we have our link access zone at the back of the driveway awning here, which is the area between the awning itself and the vehicle. And you can see that what separates that is this large dividing wall here. Now this will open on both sides if you want, so you can have a sort of bigger, more open space on nicer days, but when it's a bit windy or chilly and you want to be kept nice and cozy in here, then these doors can be fully zipped closed. So you can see here we have half of it rolled away at the moment. Then within this area, so as I said earlier on, we have two side doors actually in this area, so you get access in and out of here without having to come through the awning if you want. And there is also a ground sheet in this area too, which you can see here, that just tucks underneath the ground sheet of the awning section. But you can then see that it actually comes up the side of the vehicle, and there are pegging points at either side just to allow us to peg that into the ground, and then there are toggle points at the side just to lift it up against the vehicle. So that's going to stop drafts from coming through into this area as well. So next, what I want to do is just highlight to you a great feature on this, and that is the way that it attaches to the vehicles. The first and most simplistic way of attaching the awning to the vehicle is actually just by attaching it using the guy lines. So all we need to do here is just take the material on top of the van and then take your guy lines across the other side and peg them into position. Next, we can connect with the Velcro bands that are already pre-attached onto the back of the awning, and these would just simply wrap around any vehicle that has things like roof bars attached to them, and then of course we can then take the guy lines out the back and peg them into place as well. Next, you can connect this awning using suction cup clamps, which would be sold separately, but we actually do supply the awning with a steel pole that can go through the sleeve at the back, which you can then attach the clamps to and then attach them onto the vehicle. Next, we can then directly attach the awning onto a rail on the side of the van like this here, and that's going to be ideal if you want to leave the vehicle with the awning during your stay. Finally, we then have the optional extras from ourselves, which would be the magnetic band connector, which would just attach onto any vehicle with a magnetic roof. So it easily attaches on there and then just is guyed into position across the back. And we then also have our Outwell Touring Connect set, which is a figure of 8 kit that can attach the awning directly into a rail, which enables the awning to be a drive-away. So we have various different optional extras available for this. That would be the fleece carpet for this area in here, of course, giving you a little bit more comfort underfoot. There is also a footprint available to go underneath the ground sheet of this, and that's of course going to protect the ground sheet and keep it clean and dry on those wet and muddy days. And we also have our various different connecting kits as well. So there you go, that's all the features then of our San Diego Freeway SA from our Smart Air Touring collection. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, this tent can be inflated using our Typhoon 12-volt compressor pump.